Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to the channel. I'm Sam. Got Phil with me again, as usual, and we are Bars and Barbells, and today we have some more Michael Jackson for you.
Yep, we got Michael Jackson, we got me, we got Sam, and we got Tiffany that's hanging around here as well. So if you hear screaming cat at any point,
It's almost her dinner time.
that's what she's telling us. And yeah, we're coming to the Earth Song, and we've broadened our Michael Jackson catalog very much since we started the channel. Didn't know a whole lot about Michael Jackson personally. Sam had a little bit of exposure from it was a dance recital. No, figure skating, sorry. I don't know why I always want to say dance recital. And so your figure skating routine that was centered around Thriller. And you didn't even know how correlated it was until you got into some of the videos that we had done.
Yeah, no, I had no clue. And that's kind of the only side of Michael Jackson I really knew, that time period. But it's been really cool to see some of his other stuff. And, we most recently did They Don't Care About Us, which is kind of cool to see him doing something completely different than that initial kind of songs that I was exposed to. And that was more of him on the side of, he was showing images of poverty and more humanitarian side of things. And that seems to be what this is going to be more of as well. So
yeah, Earth Song, that's the background that we got, is that it's talking about the earth and humanity's effect on it to some degree.
Animals. I love animals.
Don't know how much more than that we're going to get into, but we're excited to check out something else from Michael because clearly he was a very talented individual, holds the best-selling album of all time in Thriller, and was a phenom for quite a while, and I think about 4 decades. So
impressive.
Without further ado, you ready?
I'm ready. Let's do it.
Let's roll.
In the jungle. Monkeys.
What about sunrise? What about rain? What about all the things that you said we were to gain? What about killing fears? Is there a time? What about all the things that you said was yours and mine? Did you ever stop to notice all the blood we've shed before? Did you ever stop to notice this crying earth, this weeping shore? We've done. What about all the peace that you pledged your only son? What about flowering fields? Is there a time? What about all the dreams that you said was yours and mine? Did you ever stop to notice all the children dead from war? Did you ever stop to notice this crying earth, this weeping shore?
right, so Earth Song, Michael Jackson, is much, much different than any Michael Jackson that we've done on the channel thus far. And, you know, most of the songs have been upbeat dance vibes. Even the last one that we did, you know, it had a message to it, but it was still, you know, you had Michael Jackson dancing in,
like in
Brazil.
the streets, yeah.
You know,
had all these people out there dancing with him.
Yeah, they don't care about us. Clearly, a message to it, but it was still, you know,
almost like them uniting together.
An anthem, right?
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
This is not that at all. This is like a ballad through and through. The first
Yeah.
ballad I think that we've done. I can't remember anything else that sounds at all similar that we've done to done compared to this. And pop ballad mixed with a bit of blues, it feels like, in there, with some of the vibe that it's, you know, portraying alongside this messaging, which, I mean, my personal opinion on the messaging is that the Earth Song, they got visuals of him literally grabbing the earth, a bunch of people grabbing the earth. So it's showing, you know, through time, the earth has had seen so much, right? It's been a constant. It's always there, but it's seen so many people, so many habitats, so much devastation in so many different ways, that, you know, the earth keeps going round and round, and all these things happen. And, you know, have you ever stopped to think? Have you ever stopped to, you know, realize that outside of your bubble, there's so much going on, you know, there's so many people struggling, there's so much destruction happening on the earth. I think that's the vibe of the song that I get from the visuals, from some of the lyrics. It's not anything particular as a statement, I feel like. I think it's kind of a song to stroke your consciousness and to be more conscious about how you live your everyday life, and, you know, be aware of things and not get stuck in your own bubble.
Yeah, for sure. And he touched on saying things like, well, what have we done to the world and stuff like that. And I think he's also just alluding to, as time progresses, like, things get more and more far gone, right? And even this was from a long time ago, I would imagine. And, you know, if you look at today, like, you know, the climate.
The song?
Yeah.
It's from 1995.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. Like, that's, 20 years ago almost. Or no, 30 years ago. Sorry, my math is not my strong suit. 30 years ago.
Not quite, almost 30 years, yeah.
Yeah, so, you know, like, obviously since then things have probably evolved to be even worse in terms of deforestation and, you know, like the treatment of the planet and pollution and like climate and all that kind of stuff, right? So.
Yeah, but I think, like, I mean, I'm not disagreeing, but I think, like, we saw some tribes in there and stuff, and I think that some of them were older people, and I think it was kind of portraying, to me anyways, that, you know, in the beginning, none of this stuff was happening, right? But as humans have come along, there's been deforestation, for example, right? But that's happened, whether, like, hundreds and hundreds of years ago. So we're talking, like, you know, a millennium ago, all this stuff started happening, and it's been a constant, and the earth has seen it all, essentially. But, and to me, it's going to happen. Like, there are going to be things as we evolve as humans that are going to, you know, create issues in the planet, but it's being conscious to understand that we have to go about it in the right way, I think, was my take on it. So, I mean, agree with what you're saying. I just think that the visuals, that's what I'm getting anyways.
Yeah, I personally took more of, like, humans are making poor choices to how we treat the planet, between war and killing animals and killing forests and all that kind of stuff. But that's just kind of what I took. Yeah,
but how is that different from what I just said? I just said it's my take is, like, just it's over an extended period of time. And that's why it's called Earth Song.
Yeah,
in addition
that's always
to,
like, evolving to continue.
In addition to you saying it's an Earth Song because he's talking about issues that are happening in the present. But I just don't think it's
like humans' effect on the planet.
Yeah, I just saying, like, I don't think it's just today. I think it's, like, over time.
Yeah,
that's what I'm adding to the conversation of what you were saying.
Yeah, for sure.
I used to dream, I used to glance beyond the stars. Now I don't know where we are, although I know we're drifting by.
think the earth is fighting back. Sheesh, back in, what a performance vocally from Michael Jackson in that one. He was going off.
That. Yeah.
Probably the most impassioned vocal performance I think that I've heard. Very different than the first half of the song as well. It was like drawing you in. And,
definitely a build up to that.
Build, telling you the story a bit, and then exploding with the emotive vocal that's expressing frustration with the current situation in the world, and all the things that could be better that we need to pay attention to, some of it that we discussed. And it was interesting, he started with the nature stuff, talking about the whales and talking about everything that's, like we were saying, destructive forces, and then moved on to some of the issues that human beings are experiencing, and everything is all working together on Earth, and that's the what about us, because we're all kind of in this together, right?
Yeah, and I thought the visuals were interesting, how it all kind of like reversed all of the damage, essentially, that's been, like, what I took from that was essentially all of the damage that's been caused by human decision. And even it showed like the factories, right, and the pollution. It showed obviously the things like you said, the humans, like death and children and all of that kind of stuff from wars, all of the forestation stuff, the animals. And it's like, it's just crazy because all of that has come from human decision.
Human what?
Like
Sorry?
decision, like decisions humans have made have caused all that chain reaction of all those things to happen over time.
Yeah, I mean, it's, I think, been something that's unfortunate that nature has gotten caught up in the growth of human civilization, right? And as the population grows, obviously the requirement for resources grows, and somebody pays the price. But that's what he was saying in the song "What About Us," right? So it's like, yeah, it's great that even different cultures across the world, right? In the U.S. or Canada or Europe or whatever, there are cultures are doing well and enjoying life, but then other cultures are sacrificing in order for another culture to have that enjoyment, right? So what about us is the idea, I think, is that there's always a counterparty that's being affected by a decision.
For sure, 100%. And I think that, you know, there's a fine line between human civilization, like growth of human civilization. Obviously, that's inevitable, and it's going to happen. But I think it's like also the means of which we're doing so and the choices being made for that to happen. And things like, you know, like some of the imagery in there were things that, like, you know, people killing elephants to take their tusks, or like catching dolphins. Like, those aren't things that we need for human civilization to evolve. You know what I mean? Like, some of that kind of stuff I feel like is just selfish reasons and things that don't really need to be happening. So I think he was kind of alluding to some of that, of like, you know, some of it is just human greed that has caused this to happen.
Yeah, I mean, I don't disagree, and I'm not trying to make an excuse or anything, but like, for the elephant side of things, right, the people that are doing that are probably people that are from a culture in that area that are doing it to make a living, to feed their family, right? And I'm not saying that's a good thing and they should be doing it or anything, but I'm just saying that I think what I was alluding to is like the counterparty in every decision has a consequence, is like that decision that person made to go and do those things to that elephant, that we all look at the elephant so lovingly and, you know, is this fantastic creature that we can all agree is magnificent and should be protected, you know, but that other person looks at it as an opportunity for them to feed their family, right? So obviously there are other ways you can feed your family, but, you know, I think in different cultures and different environments, we value different things. And then, you know, it's like you go to one part of the world, you know, where certain animals are pets.
Yeah.
And then you go to another part of the world and people eat them.
Yeah.
You know, it's
like,
like,
that's fair. Or they're all strays and nobody has them as pets.
Yeah. So it's like, I think what I'm getting at is it's hard, really, really hard to say one decision is wrong versus the other. Of course, you know, you have to kind of weigh the cost benefit in a lot of situations. You know, it's like, you know, is this going to be worth what we're doing? And in this video, I think Michael was trying to highlight we have to be really conscious of those decisions, and that's what brought it home.
All compounds on top of each other over time, right?
There's no easy answers, you know. That's I think what I took away, anyways.
Yeah, but I think it's cool that he did this, and like so creative and good for him to, you know, take a stance against things like this, and not just, you know, he was so famous and, you know, so popular that he didn't have to dabble into this side of things, right? So.
Yeah, I mean, when you use your platform for good and you try to make a voice and try to get a conversation going, and to, you know, especially speak for, you know, when nature doesn't have a voice, right? So for him to do that,
that's very true.
And you know, try to protect an environment that is so vulnerable to attacks is, I think, credited to, you know, just not being a pop superstar, right? Mm-hmm. Anyways, guys, I hope you enjoyed our reaction to Earth Song. It was a little heavier one. That's why it was a little heavier conversation. And if you did, make sure you hit the like button. Let us know if there's other Michael Jackson that you want us to check out. We haven't done the music video for Billie Jean.
Yes.
I think I'm familiar with Smooth Criminal, the music video for that. I don't
know if I know that.
I just remember him in like this suit and stuff, and and I don't know if I saw it in school or what. I can't remember. But Billie Jean, I definitely don't think I've seen the music video for Billie Jean, so maybe we should do that one.
Yeah, I can't think of that offhand. So,
anyways, guys, that's it from us today. Have a great day. We'll see you in our next video. Take care.
Thanks for watching, guys. See you in the next one.